Welcome to the Roy Anthony and
every
Friends
Tuesday
show.
and every Thursday. Y'all tap in.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is
Anthony
anybody out
show
there?
is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank and Cynthia. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank and Cynthia. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's where we can kick
every Tuesday.
Everything is going
every
down.
Thursday.
They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, Roy Anthony
every
Show.
Tuesday.
It's during the week, homie. The Roy
every
Anthony
Thursday.
Show. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony Show. Come on and get a
Tap in
before we gotta
tap
go.
in.
What you listening to? The Roy Anthony
every
Show.
Tuesday.
Come on and kick it with us. The Roy Anthony
every
Show.
Thursday.
It's going down, homeboy. The Roy Anthony Show. Co-host
Tap in.
Big Hank. We getting it. What you think? Hey. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank.
Never seen a horse before in my life. From the ghetto. And then she arranged for us to go horseback riding. But I committed, fellas, you know how we commit, like playing basketball, you going for a layup, you know your shot's about to get blocked, but you committed. I knew it was messed up because we was headed out to the Foothill Ranch, and she stopped at Jack in the Box to get a breakfast burrito. Well, eggs and tomato paste don't go well with me. She's like, how you like your burrito? I said, oh, it's good. So we get out of here to the Foothill Ranches. They bring out her horse. He was all elegant and nice. They bring my horse out. He was like Donkey from Shrek. I was like, yeah, cool. You know what I'm saying? But she was like, I know you're not going to ride that, Roy. No, take this back. Bring me back a horse. They must have gave him a potion because they brought him out of thoroughbreds, you know. He was flexing his muscles and he was intimidating me. And I've dealt with ferocious animals, don't get me wrong. I've dealt with pit bulls and Rottweilers. I tell them to sit, they sit. But this horse was scaring me, boy. I was more nervous than a gay man in church. Because you don't look at a horse in both his eyes. You look at that horse from that one side and it's just that cyclops of feeling, you know. I see my whole body in that one eye. So my day jumps on her horse all nicely. It took me 15 minutes to get up on my horse. Because I had my foot on the stirrup, but he kept backing up like he was laughing at me with that eye. So the cowhand secretly put me on. I was like, all right. So we went moseling on, you know. Moseling is a cowboy term. That means going on about your business. So I'm moseling on, you know. I start wondering is how do cowboys ride horses across the United States? Because I hadn't gone 200 yards before my ass got sores on the rear. I mean, my rear was raw. So I started leaning over my horse like I was riding sea biscuits. You know? It's a beautiful day. But I shouldn't have did that. Because the saddle has this thing that sticks up in the front. And it was pressed up against my stomach. And with that jogging along and that Jack in the Box, I felt like I had to pass gas. But I sparted. You ever spart? That's just embarrassing stuff right there, man. Because that's when you think you letting out some air, but you feel some liquefizations. Your grippers will act like emergency brakes, woman. My grippers were like, you be insecure the rest of the day, don't you? Because you be checking it. You be letting it out a little bit at a time. Because if you feel any wetness, you be like, oh, I'm sick. I ain't feeling good. I must got a fever. I shouldn't be doing this. This ain't normal. All of a sudden, my date and the horse took off running real fast. My horse took suit. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't say giddy up or none of that. So my grippers was already on overload. And with all this going real fast, I'm screaming, hold up! So she started saying, what's wrong? I said, I gotta use it. Now believe me, I'm not gonna tell her what I gotta do. It was a good thing I had a couple of them Jack in the Box napkins in my pocket. So I'm gonna get off my horse the same way I got on. So I'm swinging my leg around, and the horse must have turned around and smelled some spark. Man, that joker went crazy. He brayed up, took off running. I'm like, oh! And I lost a hold of the rein, and he dragged me like 200 yards over rocks and sticks like a cowboy movie. My foot finally came out. I was just laying there, and my date run over. She said, Roy, are you all right? That's when I got truthful with her. I was like, hell no, I'm not all right. I done snatched a hole in my afro. My back is cut up. I got diarrhea all on me. And I don't ride horses.
What it do? Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show podcast with my co-stars, Big Hank, Miss Cynthia, Joy Towner. Without them two, especially, it wouldn't be the Roy Anthony Show. People don't understand how humble I am. Seems like my name is everywhere. And don't want people to think that I'm vain or arrogant. I'm very humble for it. Seems like the more higher he brings me, the more humble I become. But this is welcome to the Roy Anthony Show podcast. My co-stars be popping in: Big Hank, Norman, USC great, deacon at the St. Luke's Holy Baptist Church on the west side of Long Beach. Then we have the Queen, Miss Cynthia Joy. And we come up under the platform of the WO Entertainment, which was created to bring awareness to how our veterans, active and non-active, was committing suicide on a daily rate. And it just got to be a point that we push, even myself, past just about humanity, period. As much as we go through, we try, especially our show, we try to make it where it's a conversation. It's not a confrontation at all. It's a conversation, and with me being what we consider a Black American, I was listening to a video today because we be talking about reparations and why a lot of times we haven't been able to receive reparations because Black is not a nationality. It's a color. It's defined by, there was a book, if you ever read a book came out in the 60s, it's called Black Like Me, where a white guy darkened up his skin just to see the differences. And boy, did he he went to a liquor bottle. he lived the life of a Black man for a year and couldn't fathom it, The reason is because his skin wasn't that thick. You got to have thick skin to be a Black American, but let alone us Americans, period. Because me myself don't like the divisional scenarios. When you over in London, I haven't heard no, oh, he's an African Londoner, or either, I'm not an African American. If I'm identifying me from this guy whose skin is a little bit more paler than mine and his hair is a little more stringy, then I'm considered Black. He's considered white, but I got family members who has natural straight curly hair. It's just like it's just pigmentations. Just because you're dark skin doesn't mean that you got nappy hair. I've ran into guys from Haiti that has dark skin with the Elvis hair. Just being honest. The WO and Carl Alverson said, "What's up, Roy? Hey, what's up with you, Carl?" Or Loomis says, "What's up, Roy? I got Carls in the house." What's the thing on that happened? Because the lunar eclipse is about to come, and so all of a sudden I got two Carls in the house, from two different parts of the United States too. Anyway, the WO Entertainment, which was created by Richard King, aka Redneck Pimp, along with the co-creator Goose, along with our social producer Blue Phoenix, Ethan Daly, and then our good family and friends, the BB Nation, back with veterans based out of Oregon, with my man Carl Loomis and them hang with. Then the Long Beach All Stars, which is Long Beach, Compton, Linwood, Watts, active, veterans and non-veterans come together in Achievement Entertainment. Then we got the WO Entertainment, based around the United States, other countries, and our own personal family, friends, and those who don't like us, So it was brought to my attention, it was like, man, it was one of the fans from another state, and they said, "Hey, can you speed the introduction up more? We want to hear you get to the subject." Carl said, "Here on the YouTube side of things, that part right there, man, we got you, bro." Richie said, "Big announcement coming tonight on the WO radio show." Yes. Oh, y'all, please watch the WO. Matter of fact, the WO, it comes on every Tuesday, and they are from 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and 5. You catch them on the same channels. Catch them on YouTube. You see them on my YouTube and stuff. And it's Richie King, the creator and producer of the WO. Him and Commander gets together, and man, they cover all types of subjects. Now their show lasts for 2 hours. Our show is 2 hours, but we break it up into one. 1 hour one day and 1 hour Thursday. Caitlin, what's up? She said, "Hey, Roy, boy, her and Carl Loomis got a date coming up July the 7th. You see, it's stuck in my mind. I'm advertising that. Caitlin and Carl is getting married July the 7th. They don't care where it's at. Don't be stressing Carl about what location. If you have to do it in the front yard, in the eyes of God, that's all what matters. Ain't nobody complaining and stuff." Rich King said that, laugh out loud. Ain't nobody complaining. Richie, you hear him saying, "Hell yeah," See, that's where the redneck part of him comes out. He like, "Let's do it outside." It's the trucks. Let's kick it. Right. But so he said we got 2 places we are deciding on. That's right, man. Whichever way y'all go, man. And stuff. We all been talking about coming out and supporting Carl Loomis and Caitlin. Oh, she even called herself. Oh, I just noticed this. Caitlin used to didn't say Loomis. if I'm not mistaken, she didn't even claim it up. That's right. I just noticed that and stuff for real. And we know that God blesses a married bed, and so I know some people say, "How you to speak, raw? You married? No, you heathen." But no, I believe it. I believe in doing it right. My grandmother said God blesses a married bed, and that's the main thing. And so no, it doesn't make a building whatever, just two people coming together, especially in this world. Now that's why the subject today, when we're talking about what is laws and what's a penal code. One of the things I've researched, y'all, is that the laws, we are okay. You know how right now is the Declaration of Independence is being stressed, particularly, especially I push it too. If this government fails us, the people should have the rights to abandon it and create a new. And so then, as you notice, I found out that our penal codes even go with when Caitlin said most likely Silver Falls State Park is gorgeous. Yay! I did waited long enough to share last night. Oh, she noticed I did. She said she did wait long enough to share it last night. I seen it. I noticed it. You can't get nothing past me. I'm a researcher. I read. I pay attention. And so, like I was telling somebody, it was telling me, trying to talk to me on the side, and I don't care if it's my brothers, sisters, I don't, political, whatever. I'm not a theorist. Don't bring theories to me. I deal with facts. That's why I'm spiritual. I'm not a religious person. I believe in God, and I have salvation through his son, Jesus Christ. I can look at the world and tell you that's my belief. And I'm willing to stand firm with that belief. I've had to break up with a couple of dates that women that I like because their beliefs and wasn't of mine. Not knocking nobody else's belief, but it seems like people attack because of my belief. Because when there was nobody around and I was in the pit of the homelessness in the barrels, hungry, homeless, been jailed and all that, the only one I could call is Jesus. Through him to God, because I'm going to Jesus, Lord, please can you look out for me? Could you put a word out to God through Jesus, through your blood? That's my belief. And I tell it to the whole world. And if that's what holds me from what people consider made it, well, I don't know. I just say God knows what time it is for me, because heathen as I was, without force superstardom, he knew not to put me around a bunch of women. You have to move over, But I've been trying to work to do it right. That's why I admire people like Big Hank, who's married, and a lot of my partners, Big Ski, who does the songs, married. Richie and Shelly, they married. Carl, Caitlin about to be married. I respect that. But I want on these penal codes, man. We're in year 2024, yet we're still living like in the shadows of Richard Nixon and them. For real, so we are. It's like we're the new stage of puppets that our grandparents were through in the Richard Nixon in them times. And it said, our walk is very important. God is our salvation. We are nothing without him. We are his children. That part. They say a house that prays together stays together. They pray. They believe God. He has no respect to person. But as an individual, when Jesus came upon earth, first thing they said is, what good came out of Bethlehem? You ever had somebody tell you, like, look at, because where you come from, that's what they said. What good comes out of Beverly? What good comes out of Quindaro? What good comes out for Cameron, Missouri? What good comes out of this part? Or, but it's not about where you from, it's what you know. I was a treacherous. I'm like, Paul, I used to be on the road to where it was straight that the opposite race was my enemy. I was like that. I was, it was like, hey, and then I start communicating and talking with some cats and, found like, well, wow. And I can't blame none of my white neighbors for slavery. they, they, they in the same boat as I am as this modern day. I noticed that the media and certain politicians and certain head people of neighborhoods, like certain pastors, they propagate the knowledge of the differences of us. One time we've had police officers on it. Y'all seen it. And I remember one police officer said, well, their training is to train like this. But as a black person around the whole United States, we know that there was laws called driving while black. There are circumstances that are isolated because some people are kind of, like I tell people, the word racist, like I can't be racist. I can be prejudiced, but racist comes from the word racism, and I don't know why people tried. And then guess who tried to define to me, y'all, what the word racist meant? Cal Lundy. If you don't quit, I don't believe a word you say anymore. Almost went with now I think it's a theory, anything Cal Lundy say, but a theory is an unproven fact. A fact is what it is. If we're going to go by race of people, I'm black. Doesn't have nothing to do with what's in my mind. How to interpolate with that. I'm from the hoods and recognize they making just as much money as I am, and it's for the hood. But then there's certain differences. She said, Jesus don't see color, he sees our hearts. Love your neighbor as you would love yourself. He loves all the good, the sinner, and the broken. We are his perfectly imperfect creations. That's totally true. And I'm totally with you. Okay? But sometimes our own society, you know what I'm saying? You ever notice how somebody just wants to be the title, like y'all both on the position, and next thing you know, they're doing everything so they can be the head manager or the supervisor. And so somebody always wants to be over others. You ever notice that? Where I've been hired to be the supervisor of construction, but if there was something that had to be done manually and we had to dig a trench, I'd be like, hey man, we got to dig a trench, y'all. And then what I do is I grab a shovel and I start digging it, and then they jump in and we dig it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just wants to stand up there and tell somebody, hey man, dig this trench. Yeah. Starlet said, morning, handsome and beautiful people. Hey, good morning, Starlet. See, let's keep it 100. When we talk about who's an outlaw, they always purporting, okay, let me break this. Blacks make up 14.2% of the United States population. So 300 million people in the United States. But and so I get more statistics, and I'm digging, and out the 14.3% of the blacks in the population, only 2.1% commits crime. Only 2.1. But the way the media magnifies it, you would think we just hear, oh Lord, here's some blacks coming, oh Lord. That's what they want you to do. So then we resort, instead of using modern mind thinking, we start resorting back to these charters. I've been talking about these charters. We keep looking at the president of the United States. You better talk to your city commissioners and your mayors who has when they get elected, one of their duties is to try to work on renewing the charters. Which the old charters state that police can stop you if you look suspicious because you're coming in town in 1910 on a horse. Yeah, they look like they may not be up to no good. You feel me? Well, now they're covering the same things. Media, Canaan said, media is the tool that the devil can thrive on. Yeah, look here. Let me tell you our secret. The devil cannot read your mind. He can that's movies, because he's the author of liars. He cannot read your mind. Only God can read your mind. The devil can implement thoughts. That's why you have those little movies where you got the demons on one side and the angel on the other side. He can implement thoughts. But the Spirit of God, who is God is love, implements rationale. He ain't tell us to be no punk. He said, turn one cheek. He didn't tell you turn both. But my grandmother said if they hit you in the second one, that's when you ball your fists up in the name of Jesus and try to knock them out with the use of the Holy Spirit. And I believe that. She said it's your mind and your heart that you control. The Lord guides you with. We are his warriors. He even give us choice. He give us choice. You decide. Now, sometimes some things, even I've been through it here lately. Lord, why me? Why am I going through it? You feel me? Because my faith in him resorts me to do this. Now, while I'm talking about penal codes this week, just showing because penal codes are made by city council folks that is governed up and backed up by the police. And daily, instead of just when they talk about purging, I don't know purge the police, but you purge the penal codes. What is considered looking suspicious? Do you know the police didn't have I seen the police make a U-turn on me one time and told me, I said, what's the reason you stopped me for? My place is not right. He said, the instant thing was blocking my view. You know how you go to the car wash and you get the little pine cone looking thing and you hang it on your rearview mirror? They told me that was the reason, because it would obstruct my view. Dude, I seen dude looking. Now, when I told people this is what happened, some people said, man, come on. That ain't. I'm going to show you what a penal code. Check this out. This is a penal code.
$1 million an hour.
Not this one. I'm sorry. That's the wrong one. This is the one I want.
Say that one more time.
Yeah. You didn't use your blinker.
Okay. And I purposely used it because I know that you were going to.
And then you also can't have this.
And I can't have a tiny tree obstructing my view. Can you get your supervisor here, please?
He doesn't have to be.
Can you please get your supervisor here?
Can you get the registration proof of insurance?
Yes, I can. Can you please call your supervisor here?
So let's get the proof of insurance.
Can you please call your supervisor here?
I don't have to call my supervisor.
Why not? Because I feel it is an unlawful stop because you have no reason. I purposely put on my blinker to turn down this street because I knew that you were going to follow me on this street. And as soon as I turned on this street, that's when you put your lights on.
You knew I was going to follow you on this street?
Yes, I knew you was because you were following me for a while.
Like I said, there's a school up there that I have to go check,
which
is why I came down this road.
Can you please call your supervisor?
All right, you give me the documents. I'll ask my supervisor if he wants to come out. All right.
If he wants to come out, can you please call your supervisor? I will get you my documents.
Okay. All right.
And it's a company vehicle.
Okay. What company you work for?
Can you please get your supervisor? I answer all your questions, but you don't want to answer my questions.
I would. I answered your questions. Of course, I've been answering your questions. I'm just making small conversation. That's it. That's all.
I don't want to have a
Okay.
conversation.
197-180. Available for a back.
And can I get your name and badge number?
Yeah, my name is Patrolman Kevin Arender. Badge number 197.
All right, thank
Yep.
you.
Gamble off 18,000. So
I didn't use my blinker. I purposefully put on the blinker and turned because I knew you were going to follow me. I knew you were. So we deal with this every day. Wasn't doing nothing wrong. Did exactly
Stand
the
by.
speed
All
limit.
right, let me go check this out.
39374. Penal code 39374.
Come on, bro. I didn't use my blinker. Are you crazy? Obstruction? Obstruction? Are you crazy? Obstruction? Look at that. What is it obstructing? You can't. I'm looking at the tree. I'm looking at my view. Looking at the tree. Looking at the view. Come on now. He has.
That's penal code 39374. That's in the black side of the police book. my white neighbors don't go. You know what? I purposely wanted to show that because I know that nobody could see that there was a guy with dreads. Now, I'm going to admit my guilt. When I saw the video, and I was like thinking, like, well, why is he stopping him? You know, and I've been through this instant part. I've been through that and everything. And then all of a sudden, when he turned to the phone himself, I said, oh, well. and you see what I did? I prejudged him too. Oh, you over there smoking, probably walking weak. No, I'm wrong. Because it's no reason to stop somebody. You talking about this instant hanging from your window obstructs your view. You're trying to make up something. Of course you can say, oh, you didn't turn your blinker. So that's why you follow him, wait for him to turn. Oh, you didn't turn on your blinker. Yes, I did. No, you didn't. These are penal codes. Let me show you something. Let me because I like everybody to understand what one side of the family tree.
Revised Penal Code, an overview. Act number 3815, otherwise known as the Revised Penal Code, is the basic law that defines criminal offenses and provides the penalties for the commission of those offenses. The Revised Penal Code took effect on January 1, 1932, or more than a year after its approval on December 8, 1930.
1932.
The Revised Penal Code is divided into books. The first book contains general provisions regarding criminal offenses, the persons liable, and the imposition of penalties. On the other hand, the second book describes the acts that constitute criminal offenses and the penalties for the commission thereof. Crimes are grouped under the following categories: crimes against national security, crimes against the fundamental laws of the state, crimes against public order, crimes against public interest, crimes relating to prohibited drugs, crimes against public morals, crimes committed by public officers, crimes against persons, crimes against personal liberty and security, crimes against property, crimes against chastity, crimes against the civil status of persons, crimes against honor, and criminal negligence. The Revised Penal Code replaced the old Penal Code, which was based on the Spanish Penal Code of 1870. A Spanish royal order in 1886 extended the application of Spanish Penal Code to the Philippines. Keep on learning.
Look, man, all I keep asking I don't want to hear about people try to debate. I hear men debating about women's bodies, which I think that should be a women delegations and let them figure that out, because I don't want no women trying to have a debate about my testicles. I don't want nobody wondering they should have a debate that goes to Congress. I think that the women are sharp enough to have their own delegations and come up with their own laws on how they want to do with their bodies. I think men need to stay up out of that, because some of y'all I'm starting to find is a little mischievous with your sexual harassment ways and molesting ways. So I think these women need to be able to protect each other from predators, as some of these guys that we see out here. And that's been real. And I'm coming deep with that and stuff with some of these chesters, So I think women should have their own delegations in deciding on their health care when it comes to the young women to the older women. I think that, and like I've been saying, you can't get nowhere. And Frederick Douglass said, without struggles, there is no progress. So with struggles, I don't let my past struggles and stuff stop me from why I haven't been progressing. Then that means I let my struggles conquer me. I was taught that whatever don't kill you makes you stronger. So ain't no point of giving up now. And sometimes you face humiliation days. Some days you're going to face embarrassment. You're going to face something. But what I'm talking about, something we don't have to face, is okay. Have you noticed? And somebody keeps saying, bro, you should run for politics. No, but it just seems like basic math. We are one of the richest countries in the world. I'm just saying is, why do anybody who makes $100,000 or less have to pay income tax and then go to a store and have to pay sales tax? Your family owns this house since the grandparents, and they still got to pay property tax. And then they keep talking about a national debt, but who? We punk everybody else. Just tell you, hey, man, we can't pay you. We starting off zero. This is the 21st century. Because to my understanding, it's the American people that we owe. Because look how many people who died and didn't get their Social Security money and all that. Where's all that money at? We found enough of them to go take care of some cats over in Ukraine. Dude, I always see this president, I'm not against you, but man, stop trying to leapfrog us. We got some stuff, because I seen some videos of Africans being kicked off of trains, college students, bro. I'm one of the least ones who wants to understand it. What's up? I hadn't heard you address this stuff. You keep coming to us. There's other countries in this world. Why you keep coming to us for aid? I don't know no homies that watch no Paddington Bear 2. I don't care about that. What I do care about, all of a sudden, which fentanyl is a drug that is used in the medical field, and it's high doctors and European doctors that work with it and know how to use this stuff to kill pain and stuff. I'm surprised like mud. How's Mexicans getting it through the border? Why we keep paying taxes? Okay, what if I can show proof? You know me, I don't deal with theories, I deal with facts. And what if I can show, here's a lady who actually knows the tax law. Check this out.
$6 million an hour in interest from the American people. $36 million an hour in interest from the American people. My children, my two children, were born $86,000 in debt based on the national debt. Now, why am I going to take away from those children to give to somebody that is going to be born in 2030? It's not going to happen. So that was my decision. It was very easy. You know, you think about stuff like fear. Oh, the IRS is going to get you. They're going to take your stuff. That's not important to me. Stuff's not important to me. My children are important to me. I'm one of those mothers that will roll up her sleeves with one leg and try to whoop you if you mess with my children. And I think that a lot of mothers are like that. So this is what my decision was. And I went on and started educating people. One of the things that people asked me once I made this decision and started talking about it, how are we going to run the country without the income tax? I don't know how much Dan got into it, but the Grace Commission report that Ronald Reagan put out in 1984, says that none of the money collected in income tax goes towards running the country. But the bottom line is it's not going towards running the country, so you patriotic people out there, you've been fooled. Beardsley Rummel, he was Federal Reserve Chairman back in 1946, did a speech before the American Bar Association. The title of his speech was Taxes for Revenue Are Obsolete. Within the body of this report, he says that the taxes, the income taxes for redistribution of wealth. What is redistribution of wealth? What is that? That's taking from me that I've worked hard for and giving it from somebody else to somebody else. Shouldn't I have the right to redistribute my wealth if I want to? Another question that they ask me is, how come I haven't heard this on TV or on the radio or in the newspaper? Well, sweetie, the simple answer to that is the same people who own the television stations and the newspapers and the radio stations are the same people who are involved with the Federal Reserve. And here is a little statement that says that it only requires 5% ownership to significantly influence the media. Rockefeller is one of the original shareholders of the Federal Reserve. As early as 1963, the House Banking Subcommittee reported that Rockefeller, through Chase Manhattan Bank, controlled 5.9% of the stock in CBS and the bank and gained interlocking directorates with ABC. I went all the way through high school, all the way through college, all the way through testing for the CPA, and all this Irish training and didn't hear about any of this. You think they want this information out here? For you guys to eat up and chew up and find?
There's more. Look it up, man. I thought I was alone because sometimes in the I be feeling in the middle of the night. Carl said I'm laser engraving and watching. Let me tell you something, man. No matter what qualms anybody has, any personal thing, we American people, blacks, whites, Latinos, Asians, and stuff, we have to really say what's really for us. We up here bickering amongst each other for a man or any man who's the president of the United States. Man, all you guys who ran up to the Capitol, what the world was you expecting? You think that, okay, y'all think y'all real patriots and we thinking we real patriots, and now you thinking that you're gonna take over while me and my crew feeling like, no, you not. It's a civil war. Now, this isn't about imports and exports now. This isn't about the South making funds and all this now. This is about controlling parties. Carl said, wizard engraving, he said, prayers for people lost on Key Bridge. We have to understand, here's a man named Mark Johnson down there running for governor of North Carolina, black dude, talking about, blacks don't need no reparation. You owed us. Wait a minute, man. For one, bro, we've been paying taxes. Native Americans, which we are considered Native Americans, they just don't want to identify us like that. They try to identify that Native Americans was the ones like, man, Richie King is Native American. We have a lot in common. We believe on praying on the earth. When I say CO2, it seems so right coming off of me when I'm saying it. Man, we have to understand, Okay, penal codes make you, okay, there's a town in, I think it was Mississippi, whatever, that was arresting people for not paying a fine on the tickets. So you take them to jail and then keep them in there 3 days talking about, do you have a job? And when they get out, they don't have a job, but now you re-arresting them again because they got 10 days to pay this fine that you are. Like, come on, man, with the circus. Why would you want to do humanity like that, man? Just because you want to say, I can, I'm the big man. If anybody believe in God, from former President Donald Trump, President Biden, all that and stuff, guess what? They're no bigger than God. Now we try to, it was the children of Israel when they wanted the governor, they wanted a president, they wanted somebody they can sing, they asked for a king, they all that. We ain't asked for no presidency or none of that, but we just going with the flow. I respect what the people, the public people wants. You know, I respect all that. But every time you look up, especially from me as a Black American, they always pushing the finish line. These penal codes messed your whole day up. This man was on his way to work. I didn't go into detail. He on his way to work. He's in a company car. Here it is, taxes. And look here, I'm gonna tell you, some guys think that, so like some of the older white guys, I see them like, hey, blacks, they shining off for everything. What if I told them that I know some white guys? Well, I'm a big fan of them. You ain't heard these?
Quick neck down to the strip, got gold in my wrist and a side bag pack full of clips. Strapping up my back, get that lit, then pass that round to the left like this. Smoke in my lungs, toting a gun, I can never be broke, got a load of the funds. Cash in the bank, antiques in the yard, make money when I speak, you're lucky I don't charge.
Right, bigger than a bar, big dog, time ticking on a mile. Wristwatch, need a break from the bar, chip shop, side chick sitting in the car worth pissed off. Let me tell you something, bad boys like us, we ain't here for the chit chat. You can tell we ain't here for the games by the way we look when the boy stepped into the building. Changes swinging on my neck, gold rings on my fingers, summing on my wrist, tucked into my waist, look, see me with a clip. Big glass to the Bombay, take a little sip like vintage sticks, little blast from the past. Gold rings click when I pass in the clothes. Just stepped into the building, shy little face, and I'm back on the road like.
I like them OGs, you feel me? What's up? Then cuss. Now, if I riding around now, I see some old white guys, I'm gonna be like, locking my door. Oh, snap. But see, I was describing about the word racism. I want to show some. Racist comes from the word racism. That means when one race of people, which they did the division, to be able to put laws up on another race of people, which is penal codes as well, for suffering by punishment, by imprisonment or death. We have argued for years, why isn't our peers who measure us in jury isn't within a 5-mile radius? If you're in Los Angeles, you catch a case in Hawthorne or something, your peers coming from Beverly Hills, they don't know nothing about the neighborhood. They don't know nothing about some street ethnics and some loyalty parts. There's certain things that we'd be like, oh, okay, I can see why that happened. You can't learn about a black culture because you watch Good Times or you watch this movie of the bar. That's just cinematography of it. You got to get the real feel. Just like when I go up here to Oregon for Carl Loomis and Caitlin Loomis for their matrimony, I'm not coming as, oh, I represent blacks. I'm coming as a supporter of them as an American. When I go over to visit Africa, they don't call me, they ain't gonna call me African because my cousins go over there. They say, oh, he's an American. They trying to sell me shit too. When I went down to Mexico, I was in Ensenada, Mexico. Man, I probably bought about 20 little bobbin head turtles and chiclet gums from little kids with silver caps on their teeth all evening long. For real, they little bobblehead turtles. They had turtles and head bobbles and chiclet gums. They didn't say, oh, like they kept saying, hey, American, American. Little kids came at me. They see me pull some dollars out. They were like, hey, bobblehead, chiclet. Like, you can't turn down no kid. People will say to me, Roy, let me tell you something, no matter what I show you, I know about the comedy shows and everything, but this is what I thrive on. Ephesians 3:20, to who can give you more than you can ask or think from the faith in you. That's God. We deal with evils unaware, who controls the mindset of, okay, we're going to use guns and stuff and make these people, our money pays the same people. Mark Johnson, did you know that we pay taxes too? Black Americans, we pay taxes too. We had land back in the 60s and it was cheated. Look at it through the 60s and the early 70s, how they cheated on a lot of stuff. Look at that happened down there in Tulsa. They couldn't even get their banks and stuff or no more because they blew up the houses. They couldn't even get their identity. And the same bank tellers who would know you every day. Hey, Roy. Hey, how you doing? Cynthia and stuff. Yeah, here to make a withdrawal. Yeah. But now all of a sudden this uprising and my house is burnt down and I'm coming and get my stuff like, hey, Cynthia. Yeah. Do I know you? You know me. Roy. I need to have some ID. Oh, that's why I'm here, because my ID got blown up in my house. Oh, I'm so sorry. Our politics. Next thing you know, I'm starting to get loud. Well, guess what? Penal Code 2718-55 say you can't be black getting loud in the bank. Comes a punishment of 5 days in jail with $1,000 fine. Think about it. Who made up these penal codes? Somebody sat back up and said, you know what, I'm trying to make, yeah. If their windows is too tinted, I want to be able to see who's in there. Give them a penalty code of 8-1517-2 that the windows need to be a little bit lighter than what they was. We're still, you seen we're still working on the laws from 1910, the whole United States. They ain't want to revamp it. They don't want it for real. And people is getting tired and irritated from that. I hear my white neighbors say, hey, I got gun rights. I hear my black neighbors we want to support that, but every time we get stopped, you have a gun in the car. We liable to get shot just reaching for our cell phones. I thought it was a gun. What you see? How does this look like a gun, bro? It's scary. You got in the field. Don't get in the field to try to impress some woman or you was bullied when you was a kid. We police officers, y'all not making over 100,000. And if you are, I'm just saying, if you do, this has something to do with you. We ain't telling you, we ain't talking about your occupation, whatever. We said American people who's making under 100K shouldn't have to pay income taxes. If you've been living on your property for 10 years, and you shouldn't have to pay property taxes if you make under 100. You for real. Let's do something for the American people for once. We do it for the Ukrainians, blacks seen it, do it for the Laosians. We do it for the Asians, for real. And I'm trying to figure out, I looked down there at the southern border thing. They was letting blacks and Africans and Asians come through this gate and stopping the Latinos. And I'm like, wow, what's, and then they said that they bringing fentanyl up. Wait a minute, that's a drug that's made from European nations. Okay, I'm just saying, just do something for the American people. I don't want to hear division. What's Mark Johnson, governor, trying to run for governor of North Carolina? Man, why don't you talk about something instead of trying to make one side happy and like you talking to us? I'm trying to solve a problem where we all can feel like we got reparation. You selfish. Man, that's a low. That's one of them dudes who wanted to look. I want to be on top of the world. I want to shut up, Mark Johnson. Stop sipping chitlin juice at night, bruh. Pray to God and ask for some wisdom. Let's do somewhere all of us united, because most of the working class people in the United States makes under 100,000. Now, if you make 100,000. If you make 100,000 to 250,000, we'll make it where your tax is not that bad, but you got to pay something. It don't make no sense you keeping in poverty, soaking out of money out of them. I got something from the IRS because 2017, man, you got us going through pandemics and everything. Nobody can keep up with their taxes. Then you say, oh, you owe us 10,000. What the world that, what was I making Donald Trump money? How in the world? I said, what the? It got to be a mistake. How in the world I owe 10,000 like I made 150,000? It's 100,000. I don't remember making 50, 60,000. Somebody must have told on me on my side hustle. That's the only way. My side, somebody done snitched on me on my side hustle because IRS sold me 10,000. Why? From 2017. What the? Man, anybody who makes under 100,000 should be tax free. And no, you don't have to find out if I'm a this or that. You already know my social security number. You see where my budget is at. You see what this household is making. No, it ain't about if the two come together. That's their business if two come together. Dude, this man make under 100K. Well, he's tax free. Does the woman he married makes under 100K? Yes, they do. We ain't talk about what they combined with. Stop with that trickery. Give them the rights that they both, even if their salaries come up to 130,000. I have nothing to do with you. They still working. We got to pay sales taxes. You know they're gonna go buy groceries. You know we're gonna go buy this expensive gas. How much money you gonna keep squeezing from the American people, man? And I'd rather do it like that, Mr. Mark Johnson, where you unify the people, and because we have a common goal that states that this government that we're using, this penal codes, we need to revamp that. We need to start concentrating on our city commissioners and mayors, see if they're trying to make this stuff work better. And Roy Anthony endorsed this. And so I broke it down. I'm not the politician, but I broke it down what can help the American people. One of the things is get off your high horse, those who does, and stop trying to, because those who make how you got rich was from the people around you. They have to either buy your product, they have to buy your cars, they have to buy your service, they have to buy your food product. Remember that, for real. Got to a point, Walmart, I'm making more money and don't even pay. I'm tired. I don't even go to checkout. You know what I do? I go to the electronic department. I pay for my stuff there. Well, I'm going to sit up here and check out a line. I'm going to check myself out with a police officer looking to see if you're going to steal. What type of man? It's not even considered stolen until you leave the store. I should just push the basket like, yeah, get that. I ain't not paying and turn the corner and come back in and do pay. had them up an alarm. But they'll find a penal code for that. They'd be like, sir, even though you didn't walk out the store, penal code 8-578-BJ states that you can't even live past these parts without. So we're going to have to cite you for attempted to want to play a joke on stealing groceries. Man, I'm Roy Anthony. I see y'all Thursday. God bless. Oh, wait a minute, man. I know everybody, Big Hank will been coming in. Something's going on. Or likely check on him. Since Joy, I know she has been working. We're going to bring back up on this subject and stuff about these penal codes. Peace out. Roy Anthony.
Welcome to the Roy Anthony every Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all
Hey,
tap in.
is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is anybody
Anthony
out
Show
there?
is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in.
It's the hottest show, homie, on